For years, parents and schools have pushed for students to put away their cell phones during class. But a new study done at the University of Washington and published in JAMA suggests many kids are not getting the message.
In our 7 o'clock hour this morning, I caught up with Dr. Dimitri Christakis. He's the George Adkins Professor of Pediatrics at the University of Washington School of Medicine and the paper's senior author. Here's our conversation now. Doctor, thanks so much for joining us here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to start with that headline here. U.S. young people spend more than an hour a day on smartphones during school hours. How did your team go about finding that really eye-popping conclusion?
Well, we used data collected from 640 teenage students across the United States who agreed to have a passive sensing app installed on their phone. And that app allowed us to know precisely when they were on their phone and what they were doing on it. Vanishingly few studies have collected data with this level of precision. Industry, of course, collects them that way all the time.
And I'm curious, what did your study find in terms of what they were actually looking at while they're on their cell phones at school? What was the subject matter here?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned before, we found that the typical teenager in school today spends about an hour and 15 minutes a day on their phone during the school day. 25% of them are spending a quarter of their school day on their phone. And what is more, in case people are curious, as you mentioned, that time is not being spent on educational apps, but on social media ones, the ones that they use outside of school and the ones that really command a lot of their time and attention.
I'm just curious, did your study look at specifically the time of day in school hours that they're looking at their phones? Was it actually in class, or are we talking about maybe like lunch periods or passing periods, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we weren't able to tell. We knew it was during the school day. We don't know if it was during class or during physical education or during lunch hour. The truth is, from my perspective anyway, as a pediatrician, an educator, and a parent, I might add, I don't think it matters that much because all of that time is precious. And whether it's displacing, actively focusing on a teacher in a class, or interacting in real time with your peers at lunch, children are missing out on important opportunities.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about an hour and 15 minutes, which is a good chunk of time. You sort of mentioned this, but your research zeroes in on what many parents and teachers already suspected, which that apps are designed to be addictive. I think most of us know that. Why, in your opinion, is that a problem, particularly for young, developing minds?
Yeah, it's a really important point. We are born with our brains not fully formed. And notably, the last part of the brain to develop is what's called the prefrontal cortex. It's not fully developed until our mid-20s. And that's the part of the brain that, among other things, is responsible for impulse control and thoughtful decision-making. The fact that young minds lack that capacity is one of the reasons, for example, the Supreme Court ruled capital punishment was unconstitutional for children years ago. It's the same reason we restrict access, or try to other addictive products or activities, tobacco, alcohol, and gambling. And for some reason, we don't do that with social media apps. And in part, I think that's because we weren't aware years ago just how addictive these apps were going to become. I personally got on Facebook in 2011 because my son got on it when he was 13. And I can tell you that Facebook of 2025 is vastly different than Facebook of 2011. And it should surprise no one that when companies hire the brightest software engineers and then financially incentivize them to maximize app engagement, they do so very, very well. Too well, in fact.
Yeah, I want to ask about this from a national level. We know that at least 32 states and D.C. Require schools to ban or restrict cell phone use. In your opinion, are those policies working, and what do you hope policymakers for schools are going to take away from this new research?
Well, we'll see how well they work. Some of these bans have only recently been put into place, and most were not in place when these data were collected. But most schools, even 5 years ago, had policies against cell phone use in the classroom. The problem, as always, is how well those policies are enforced. And I think this is the critical point. I want to emphasize that the burden should not be placed on the teacher to enforce those policies. My own child taught in a low-income public school where phones in class were not allowed, and their only recourse was to send kids to the principal office for violations. That certainly doesn't foster learning for those children either. In my opinion, the bell-to-bell approach, where phones are effectively locked up or put away at school start and retrieved at school end, will work the best.
What do you think it's going to take to get to that point? Do you think it's more parent pressure to maybe implement something like that?
Yeah, I think parents play an essential role in this. And in fact, we just completed in the same time period a survey of U.S. parents, and 71% of U.S. parents support bell-to-bell bans. So they're not part of the problem. I might add that 30 to 40% of teenagers themselves feel they spend too much time on their phones. So there's a wellspring of support to create an environment that is cell phone free. We just need to have the will to act on it.
For you, what's kind of the take-home message here for everybody?
Well, I have to say that providing our children with the best educational opportunities that we can is one of the most foundational responsibilities of a civilized society. And I want to emphasize that it is not classroom learning that is being, is not classroom learning alone that is being impacted by phones in schools. It is social emotional learning as well. In our screen-saturated society, children and adults need opportunities to be authentically present in real time and space. And school is a natural place to do that.
Fascinating discussion and fascinating research. Dr. Christakis, thanks for your time this morning.
Interesting. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I grew up in an era where you didn't have cell phones.
Right.
And they weren't allowed in the classroom. I had pagers, you know, back when I was in high school. It's a few years ago. I don't think they should be allowed in the classroom, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a specific class, like we were having a discussion, your course at Seattle U is kind of social media driven, so it kind of makes sense to have access to a cell phone. What do you think?
In other cases, it's a distraction.
Right.
Yeah, so it's situational to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely, case-by-case basis.
Fascinating discussion,
It
though,
is.
isn't it?